Welcome to Global News on Signature Television. Welcome to Global News on Signature Television. I'm Charles Pius. In the headlines, federal government declares October 1st public holiday to celebrate 64th Independence Day. The federal government has handed over 64 compressed natural gas buses to labor unions. Enugu governor calls on Nigerians to embrace unity, and Far Right Freedom Party wins Austria elections, boosting European right-wing surge. Details in a moment. Guy, this person has to be online because that's the first story. Ha. But on this AC, this place is hot. You have to call him and put him on, like on the. Call him and put him like on. Use this phone and call him.
Hold on.
I thought you were going to dial it now.
Don't you have his number? I don't have his number.
I don't know what his number looks like. Please, they should hold on. Let me just.
Hold on, no.
Let me check that group chat.
No, because I think we called him yesterday evening. It should
Let
be
me
here.
confirm. That he sent that message.
That's his first. That's the first story now, isn't it?
Yes. Was it on Thursday he sent that message?
Are you sure that's his number? I thought you said you sent him a text.
No, on our own number. Yes. It's not saved. I don't know if this is the same number.
That they called.
Hello, dial star 785
Do you
hash
have
to
airtime?
link your NIN to your line. Please do
I
this
did
for
call
each
him.
of your MTN lines. To check your NIN, dial star 346 hash. Thank you.
Or you can get this from. We can actually connect with him later on the news, but you have to get him on standby. The message you said you sent to him, go back and get it, and then we can dial while we're on the news. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
He's not picking his call, sir.
Hello?
Good morning.
Ndu, is that you? Ndu,
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
is that you, sir?
Yes,
So we're connecting with you in another 1 minute, sir.
all right.
The All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA candidates in the 21 local government areas of Anambra State have been declared winners in the September 28, 2024 local government elections in Anambra State. Also, 325 consulorship positions across the 326 electoral wards in the state were taken by APGA, the ruling party in the state. The chairman of the Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission, ANSEC, Genevieve Osakwe, announced the results at the ANSEC office in Awka Sunday night. Osakwe stated that they just reconfirmed the results which were announced at the various local government areas and electoral wards. Describing the election as the fairest, Osakwe emphasized that the commission meticulously collated and analyzed the results to ensure accuracy. During the announcement, it detailed the total scores of the APGA candidates, declaring them winners based on the highest votes cast. Osakwe praised the citizens of Anambra State for their strong turnout and expressed gratitude to security agencies for maintaining peace and order throughout the process. Apart from APGA officials and few local observers, no representatives from other political parties were present at the ANSEC office when results were declared around 8:20 p.m. on Sunday. Joining us to talk a little bit more about this declaration is our bureau chief at Anambra State, Mr. Ndu Okwaleze. Mr. Ndu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Give us an update on what has happened. Other opposition parties were not at the venue of this declaration. Why is that? Why do you think they did not come through?
They must have seen the handwriting on the wall. I think anybody that has been actually following the build-up to this election will know that what we got last night was actually going to be the final result. So I think having seen in the field, most of the opposition parties were ill prepared for the election. And at the end of the day, the credibility was kind of at stake, being contested by most of the parties. Because according to them, they claim that even the APGA party that came out winner, that they manipulated the figures. That's a claim, not yet proved by anybody. So I think they felt, let them allow them to do their own thing, while most of them await the tribunal and the court to redress.
Would you attribute the poor opposition, in this particular result to the fact that they did not campaign as much as the ruling party?
Yes, it's a major factor because right from onset they were crying foul that 45 days is not enough for a political party to go for their party primaries, take all the time, do stakeholders meeting, organize themselves and raise funds for politicking and political campaign. So they didn't do this much. And because once that time was announced, they felt that it's going to be like this. So most of them did not actually give attention to this. For those who did, like PDP, that are accepted to participate, maybe halfway through, they also saw the futility of trying. So they didn't get much time to go to the hinterlands and all the nooks and crannies of the political world to campaign. But for the ruling party applicants, the bid was done right from the onset. The chairmanship candidates were already serving transition chairmen in all the local government areas. So once that announcement was made, there was no, they have seen it as they've done their primaries. All they needed was to get councillors, councillorship candidates. And campaign, they had all the field there. Fund is not so much of a problem because it's the government party, the ruling party in this state. And they have the media houses, you have a state organ, the broadcasting house where they come to do their campaign. These other people could ill afford most of this because they did not have time to raise funds. We know that politics takes money in Nigeria, and I think that is one of the reasons that they didn't do well. Even with claims, they're also making that the figures were inflated.
All right. Do you think the people are really interested in local government administration? In one of your reports, you had stated that people were out about doing their businesses. Shops were even opened. We also saw something similar to that in Enugu State in the last election that happened on the 21st of September. Some persons playing football, and some others really feeling, like a bicycle towards the elections. Vote turnout was pretty poor. What do you think may have caused this sort of apathy in Anambra State?
Yeah, not just like you said, it's not just in Anambra. I think the major cause of apathy in Nigeria Nigeria is loss of confidence in the system. There's no trust that the political umpire, the electoral umpire, that's INEC or ANSI, in the case of Anambra, will live up to expectations. So it will take a long time to convince people. Maybe after years of repeated conduct of elections, maybe they will begin to build confidence. That is, if what they're seeing looks credible to them. When they come, as I said, what are we going to do there? The result is already written. Not that they have seen it, but that's the general belief. So something must be done about, raising the bar of consciousness and confidence among the people. And take it to the not only the political parties, but the umpire themselves, and government, and even non-state actors, civil society organizations. We really need to champion this, because you can't stay in your house and say that the government is not doing well if you don't do your own bit of it. If you don't participate in selecting who becomes the leadership in the government. So our party is a general issue, and we have to fight it, and fight it very well, for Nigeria to elect credible leaders.
Okay, so just before we go, have there been any reaction from the opposition party regarding the announcement of the results last night? Have any political parties reacted? Are they going to court to challenge the outcome of the elections?
Oh, that they did before the announcement of the results.
Oh, okay.
They have not got in contact with any of them, because this one was announced just last night, in the night. But they already made their point. So actually, it's not a claim anymore. Some of them are already in court.
Okay.
The peace is already in court. LP is already in court. And I don't know the others who will join at the end of the day. But
all right.
their reactions are already known. They're already in court. And just maybe.
All right. Thank you so much, Ndu Obaleze, for your time. We truly appreciate your insights on the program this morning.
You're welcome.
All right, the federal government has declared Tuesday, 1st of October 2024 as a public holiday to commemorate the nation's 64th Independence Day anniversary. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated Nigerians at home and abroad on the occasion. A statement by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, said Dr. Tunji-Ojo praised the patient and hardworking Nigerian men and women, stating that their sacrifices will not be in vain. Aligning himself with the theme for the anniversary, the minister reiterated the need for Nigerians to reflect on the labor of our heroes past and be inspired for the task ahead, realizing that a Nigeria of our dream can only be built when we unite. While wishing Nigerians a happy Independence Day anniversary, Dr. Tunji-Ojo urged the citizens to continue to be steadfast in nation building. Nigeria will host key players in the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to discuss security challenges and that hindered farming and agricultural production in the ECOWAS region. The Director General, ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival, Felix Ihonre, disclosed this in an interview on the sidelines of the preparatory interministerial meeting on the festival in Abuja. The ECOWAS Food and Cultural Festival is scheduled to be held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State from October 6 to 11, 2024. Ihonre said that the festival would bring together key players in the food security and security structure to prefer solutions to security challenges that hindered farming and agricultural production in Nigeria and other West African countries. The EFCF boss said once the government was able to stop the violence in various communities, farmers would go to farms without molestation or harassment. According to him, when the farmers go to farms and are able to cultivate crops and grains in the right time and in the right place without molestation or harassment, there will be enough and affordable food. Ihonre said activities such as golf tournaments, train festival, Miss ECOWAS beauty pageants, and others had been outlined for the festival. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Joseph Tebwe as Director General and Global Liaison for the Nigeria-China strategic partnership reached by the two countries during the president's visit in September. Tebwe, a 1988 first-class graduate in civil engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University, will report directly to the president. The president's special advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said in a statement on Sunday. Tebe is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, FCA, and a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. At the 2024 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, President Xi Jinping pledged 360 billion yuan, about $51 billion in new financing to African nations in the next 3 years. He also pledged support for 30 infrastructural projects to boost connectivity across the continent and create 1 million jobs. During his official visit before the FOCAC, Tinubu also obtained a commitment from Jinping to support Nigeria's economic diversification plans, infrastructural development, technology transfer, and job creation. Nigeria and China, among others, agreed to collaborate on expanding Nigeria's rail network, upgrading power distribution, and creating new industrial parks. China and Nigeria also agreed to collaborate to advance education and talent development, focusing on vocational training, STEM education, and academic exchanges. The two countries also plan to improve Nigeria's agricultural practices through knowledge sharing, technology transfer, and investment in sustainable farming techniques. The Vice President Kashim Shettima on Sunday returned to Abuja after successfully representing President Bola Tinubu at the just concluded 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, held in New York. The spokesperson of the Vice President, Mr. Stanley Nkwacha, who made this known in a statement, said Shettima during the UNGA presented Nigeria's national statement at a general debate. Nkwacha also stated that Vice President engaged in several bilateral meetings and numerous sideline events at the General Assembly. He added that Shettima will proceed to join President Tinubu to mark some events put together as part of activities commemorating Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. The federal government has handed over 64 compressed natural gas CNG buses to representatives of the Trade Union Congress TUC, the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC, and the National Association of Nigerian Students NANS. The handover of the buses took place on Sunday at the State House Conference Center, Abuja, as part of activities marking Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. Mr. Wale Edun, the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, led the government delegation, which included Alhaji Mohammed Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, and Mr. Ayodele Olawande, Minister of State for Youth Development. According to Edun, when the CNG buses are deployed for commuter service, they would significantly reduce transportation costs in the country, bringing hope for a more affordable and efficient public transport system. Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Mr. Adebayo Adelabo, said on Sunday that more than 40% of Nigerians now enjoy 20 hours of power supply daily across the country. Adelabo, in a statement in Abuja, said the feat was achieved through revolutionary measures taken by the Ministry of Power with the support of President Bola Tinubu as part of his renewed hope agenda to revamp the economy. He credited the achievements in the power sector to radical and bold steps taken by his administration, with President Tinubu's consistent advocacy for stable and consistent power supply as a means to achieve breakthrough in industrialization. According to him, the generation of more than 5,500 megawatts of power was one of the ministry's significant achievements in the last year, with plans to improve further by the end of the year to promote industries, businesses, institutions, and households across the country. Enugu State Government has called for more collaboration from civil society organizations and other relevant stakeholders in ensuring the actualization of the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) by finding common grounds to advance the collective interests of the state. The Secretary to the Government, Professor Chidebere Onya, made the call on Saturday during the Enugu State 2024 Global Goals Week celebration. Signature TV correspondent Precious Chiagoro has a report. Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State has called on Nigerians to embrace unity and pursue inclusive national economic developments for the common good of the nation. Mbah made the call on Sunday during a special church service at the Government House Chapel, Enugu, to mark Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. The governor, who described the country's 64th anniversary as a milestone, said it was a testament to the resilient spirit of the people of Nigeria. While underscoring the significant role of government in sustaining democracy, he stressed that the country could only thrive in an atmosphere where everyone is giving a sense of inclusion and deliberate efforts to banish feelings of alienation. He further urged Nigerians to support President Bola Tinubu's administration as well as other leaders across the state for the country to actualize its desired economic dreams. Meanwhile, Governor Shukuma Soludo of Anambra has called for collective action to save Nigeria from the present social, economic, and other challenges currently affecting it. Soludo made the call at an interdenominational church service to commemorate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary held on Sunday at the Cathedral Church of St. Faith, Oka. According to the governor, each individual's actions, decisions, and contributions played a role in shaping the country's future, whether positively or negatively. He therefore urged Nigerians to continue to pray for their leaders and the country. Still to come, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency predicts 3-day thunderstorms from Monday. NOA urges Nasarawa riverine communities to relocate to highlands. Do stay with us. Don't worry. Wait. Please, I'll need water. Thank you. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted thunderstorms from Monday to Wednesday across the country. NIMET's weather outlook, released on Sunday in Abuja, envisaged localized thunderstorms over parts of Kebbi and Zamfara states in the northern region during the morning hours. According to NIMET, localized thunderstorms are anticipated over parts of Zamfara, Kaduna, Bauchi, Kebbi, Adamawa, and Taraba states during afternoon and evening hours. Similarly, the north central region localized thunderstorms are expected over parts of the Niger and Kwara states during the morning hours, while in the day localized thunderstorms are anticipated over parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Nasarawa, Plateau, Kwara, Kogi, and Plateau states. Thunderstorms are also expected over parts of Cross River, Akwa Ibom states, Lagos, Ondo, in southern cities during the morning hours. The agency also anticipated localized thunderstorms over parts of Oyo, Ondo, Osun, Ogun, Imo, Enugu, Ekiti, Edo, Ebonyi, Delta, Bayelsa later in the day. National Orientation Agency NOA has urged riverine communities in Nasarawa State on the fringes of River Benue to relocate to higher grounds in view of the impending flood. The Director General of NOA, Lanre Onilu, made the appeal during a media and stakeholders engagements on flood safety alerts on Sunday in Lafia. According to him, the appeal to the riverine communities to move to high grounds became necessary considering the rising water level in River Benue due to the release of waters from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. Onilu, represented by Director of Planning, Research and Strategy Yusuf Kobi, explained that the stakeholders' engagement aimed at intensifying its sensitization for the frontline states to take precautionary measures to avert loss of lives and property in the event of flooding. Also speaking, the Director of NOA Nasarawa State, Dr. Priscilla Guandola, said that the state had experienced its share of the flood disaster within the last 3 years with attendant loss of lives and property. She appealed to flood-prone communities to take precautionary measures such as evacuation, cleaning of drains, building of flood defense barriers, as well as stockpile essential supplies like foods, water, and first aid kits at easily accessible location. And elsewhere, stakeholders in the social and economic sectors have advocated comprehensive enlightenment programs to educate Nigerians on insurance to mitigate the impact of natural disasters. They also called for the review of insurance policies to address religious and cultural perceptions, militating against effective insurance coverage among Nigerians. The stakeholders, including economics, scholars, and insurance managers, stated this in separate interviews with newsmen in Bauchi, Dutse, and Gombe. A Gombe-based economist, Dr. Negal Bachama, said that Nigerians are wary of the insurance due to lack of awareness, poverty, and cumbersome insurance policies. He said that most people, including the elites, were not conversant with benefits of insurance in addressing social and economic impacts occasioned by flood, fire outbreaks, and natural disasters. Chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Bauchi State Council, Umar, also described poor sensitization as being largely responsible for the low insurance coverage in the country. He said that insurance policies had direct impact on lives of the people and stressed the need for proactive measures to mobilize participation. The Security and Exchange Commission has warned entities engaging in illegal fund management activities to desist forthwith or be ready to face the law. The Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Dr. Mitimi Agama, said this in Abuja on Sunday in preparation for the Commission's World Investor Week. According to Agama, the Commission's enforcement mechanisms would be fully deployed to fish out anyone perpetuating illegal activities within the investment climate of the country. He stated that Section 13A of the Investments and Securities Act 2007 gives SEC power to regulate investments and securities business in the country. He therefore assured investors and potential investors and that this SEC was prepared to protect and educate them to build confidence in the market. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has announced plans to investigate allegations of ticket racketeering involving some officials on the Abuja-Kaduna train service. The corporation's Deputy Director of Public Relations, Yakub Mahmoud, disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja. Mahmoud revealed that some officials have been exploiting passengers' difficulties with the online booking platform to engage in tickets racketeering. Mahmoud appealed to the public, especially passengers, to bear with the NRC, assuring them that the issue would soon be resolved. On January 22, 2021, the federal government launched a 900 million naira e-ticketing platform for the online purchase of train tickets on the Abuja-Kaduna service. In November 2023, the NRC introduced the electronic ticketing platform for the Lagos-Ibadan and Itakwe Warri train services. The NRC said the e-ticketing platform was introduced to reduce physical contact between passengers and the corporation staff. The founder and national leader of the NNPP, Dr. Boniface Aniobonam, has debunked a claim by Alhaji Buba Galadima that federal government is fighting the NNPP government in Kano State. In a statement in Lagos on Sunday, Aniobonam said there was need for Nigerians to guard against unwavering or unverified statements against the federal government. Galadima had in an interview with Channels Television on Thursday said the federal government was fighting the NNPP government of Governor Abba Yusuf in Kano State. Aniobonam in the statement said that Galadima, alongside some others, were expelled long ago from NNPP and could not speak for the party. Troops of the Multinational Joint Task Force MNJTF Operation Hardin Kai, Sector 3, have foiled an attempted attack by the Islamic State of West Africa province, ISWAP, along Maiduguri axis in Borno State. The troops, who also recovered cache of ammunition from the insurgents in a tactical operation in the area. Lieutenant Colonel Olaniyi Osaba, Chief Military Information Officer, MNJTF, in Jamena, Chad, said this in a statement on Sunday in Maiduguri. He said the troops executed a tactical ambush, neutralizing the threats before the terrorists could wreak havoc on innocent civilians. Osaba said the troops positioned themselves typically or tactically along the terrorist paths of movement and engaged them as they emerged from a forested area on motorcycles. He listed the weapons recovered to include 2 AK-47 rifles, 51 rounds of 7.62 millimeters special ammunition, 2 magazines, 61 rounds of 7.62 NATO ammunition, parcels of marijuana, tramadol, among others. Still to come, Israel pounds Lebanon as Hezbollah rockets are intercepted. FASU Games draws curtains as Egyptian varsity wins competition. These are more after the break. Stay with us. See, I don't tell you. No slowing. No slowing. Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. Austrian voters handed the first ever general election victory to the far-right Freedom Party FPO on Sunday, vote projections showed, underlining rising support for hard-right parties in Europe fueled by concern over immigration levels. The Eurosceptic, Russian-friendly FPO held a slim lead in opinion polls for months over Chancellor Karl Nehammer's ruling Conservative Austria's People's Party, OVP, in a campaign dominated by immigration and worries about the economy. An FPO victory would make Austria the latest EU country to register surging far-right support after gains in countries including the Netherlands, France, and Germany. The FPO, which is critical of Islam and pledges tougher rules on asylum seekers, won a national vote for the first time in June when it beats the OVP in European elections. The OVP, which, like the FPO, backs tougher immigration rules and tax cuts, is the only party open to forming a coalition with the far-right party. However, Nehammer says his party will not join a government with Kickl in it. And as well, Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer has reiterated on Sunday that his conservative OVP party would not join a government with FPO leader Herbert Kickl still in it. Nehammer told reporters that while he would not rule out working with the FPO as a party, it would not be reasonable or responsible to run the state with a man who believes in conspiracy theories, accusing the WHO of plotting the next world government at the World Economic Forum meetings in Davos of being preparatory meetings for world domination. The main candidates of NEOS, Austria's Liberal Party, Bates Mehl-Reisinger, said that while she did not believe the FPO would do Austria any good in governments, the election result was a clear sign that reforms were needed. Israel struck more targets in Lebanon on Sunday, pressing Hezbollah with new attacks after killing the Iran-backed group's leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah and a string of its other top commanders in an escalating military campaign. The attacks have dealt a stunning succession of blows to Hezbollah after almost a year of cross-border fire, killing much of its leadership and revealing gaping security holes. Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant is now discussing widening the offensive. Following the death of Nasrallah, killed in a massive airstrike in Beirut on Friday, Hezbollah fired new rockets into Israel, while Iran said his death would be avenged. And elsewhere, ambulances were seen racing through the streets of Sidon on Sunday following an Israeli strike on the southern Lebanese city. Israel struck more targets in Lebanon on Sunday, pressing Hezbollah with new attacks after killing the Iran-backed group's leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah. The stated goal of Israel is to make its northern areas safe from Hezbollah rockets fire and allow thousands of displaced residents to return. According to Lebanon's health ministry, more than 1,000 Lebanese were killed and 6,000 wounded in the past 2 weeks. The government said 1 million people, a fifth of the population, had fled their homes. We're going on a very short break. We'll be back after this. Do stay with us.
We are following John.
Welcome back. This is Global News on Signature Television. Displaced people fleeing Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon were taking shelter in a parking lot in the coastal city of Sidon on Sunday. Seated on the ground with his young child in his arms, Syrian refugee Zachariah, who fled the southern village of Guandoria, told reporters that the most important thing he needed was shelter for his children. According to Lebanon's health ministry, Israeli strikes on Saturday resulted in 33 fatalities, raising the death toll since hostilities began on October 8th of the previous year to over 1,670, including 104 children. Meanwhile, video posted on social media on Sunday showed a fiery explosion on the skyline of Yemen's port city, Hodeidah. Israel said it's bombed Houthi targets in the area, expanding its confrontation with Iran's allies in the region 2 days after killing the Hezbollah leader Saeed Hassan Nasrallah in an escalating conflict in Lebanon. The airstrikes on Hodeidah were in response to Houthi missile attacks on Israel in recent days. Israel said amid fears that Middle East fighting could spin out of control and draw in Iran and Israel's main ally, the United States. The Houthi-run health ministry said at least 4 people were killed and 29 wounded. Meanwhile, damage, rubble, and debris were seen on Sunday at the site of the Israeli strike that killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah on Friday. The attack was a major blow to Hezbollah and to Iran, removing an influential ally who helped build Hezbollah from the linchpin of Tehran's network of allied groups in the Arab world. In its announcement, Hezbollah said it would keep fighting Israel and has continued to fire rockets at it, including a salvo on Sunday morning. Nasrallah's death capped a traumatic fortnight for Hezbollah, starting with the detonation of thousands of communications devices used by its members. Israel was widely suspected to have carried out that action, but has not confirmed or denied it. The escalation has increased fears the conflict could spin out of control, potentially drawing in Iran as well as the United States, Israel's closest ally. And elsewhere, Israeli opposition lawmaker Gideon Saar is joining Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government, who the two men announced on Sunday, in a move likely to strengthen the premier politically. The hawkish Saar, who has been one of Netanyahu's most vocal critics in the past few years, was due to serve as a minister without a portfolio and take a seat at the Prime Minister's Security Cabinet, Israeli television station N12 says. Expanding the government will strengthen Netanyahu by making him less reliant on other members of his coalition government, which faces political challenges as it presses on with a war in Gaza and against Lebanese Hezbollah. Saar and Netanyahu said they were putting their past rifts aside. By joining the government with his 4-seat party, Saar will give Netanyahu a solid majority of 68 in the 120-seat parliament. This could help solve one of the biggest political challenges the coalition faces in the next few months, passing a new military conscription law after Israel's Supreme Court ruled in June that the state must begin drafting ultra-Orthodox Jewish seminary students into the military. Saar was once a senior member in Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party, but left after a failed leadership challenge. After Hamas' deadly October 7 attack on Israel, which sparked a war in Gaza, he joined Netanyahu's emergency unity government but left in March, citing frustration with its war policies. Successive polls since October 7th have shown that Netanyahu's coalition would be defeated in an election that Saar's faction, United Right, would be wiped out entirely. Bernard Mano, an institutional portfolio manager at IBI, said on Sunday he could see Israel's economy improving if its current spending on its wars with Hamas and Hezbollah militants was curtailed by next year. Israel saw a steep downgrade of its credit rating by Moody's, which a senior government official who did not want to be identified said was excessive, not supported by economic data, and would likely not deter foreign investment. But Bernard Mano said he could see the situation stabilizing if Israel could scale back or limit its wars to both the north and south. There's war between Ukraine and Russia. Another war happening between Israel and Palestinians, and of course, by extension, Lebanese, Hezbollah, and of course, Hamas. Basically, not Palestinians now, but they say they are not at war with Palestinians. Um, there's no peace anywhere. In a surprise move, Moody's on Friday downgraded Israel's credit rating 2 notches to Baa1 from A2 and maintained a negative outlook amidst recent escalation of the conflict in the region with Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. The downgrade kept Israel's rating its lowest in 25 years, 3 notches into investment grade. It said the key driver for the downgrade was that geopolitical risk has intensified significantly further to very high levels, with material negative consequences for Israel's creditworthiness in both the near and longer term. Moody's had also cut Israel's rating last May, and the official said little had changed in terms of key credit metrics the past 4 months. Heavy flooding caused by torrential rains damaged houses in several districts of India's eastern Bihar state on Sunday. People wounded or waded through waist-high waters that submerged vehicles and roads in parts of flooded state. Villagers resided in the rural areas said they had trouble finding shelters for their cattle amidst the floods. Heavy rainfall along with a thunderstorm is likely to occur over the next few days, the state's weather office forecast says. Weather officials in the neighboring country of Nepal, which is also hit by deadly floods, blamed the rainstorms on a low-pressure system in the Bay of Bengal extending over parts of India. People faced hours-long lines at a local gas station on Sunday in Flat Rock, North Carolina, as Hurricane Helene disrupted fuel supplies across the region. With shortages reported at several stations, frustration grew as drivers waited to fill their tanks, grappling with the storm's aftermath. Rain and storm surges from Hurricane Helene snuffed out power for millions, destroyed roads and bridges, and caused catastrophic flooding from Florida to Virginia. The storm caused at least 60 deaths, according to the state and local officials in South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. Officials fear still more bodies could be discovered across several states. Damage estimates ranged from $15 billion to more than $100 billion. Insurers and forecasters said over the weekend, property damage and lost economic output will become clearer as officials assess the destruction. Sometimes I wonder the importance of this United Nations General Assembly. I thought that whenever these kinds of discussions are done, it's not just another opportunity for people to just make comments, jab at other people, but things are done and done accurately. Like, you can see possibly that there are ways and means of solving a problem. We have a particular war at hand. A devastation is going on in the Middle East, and we also have the one in Europe between Ukraine and Russia. I thought that the UNGA will be able to bring these people together and practically talk this over. But it's beginning to look like UNGA is one of those yearly events that people just come and make speeches and they go back home. Nothing happens. It's really sad, though. It's really sad. I don't know. What you guys think? Anyways, tell me what you think in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. The 11th edition of the All African University Games, FASU, came to a conclusion on Sunday at the Lagos State University, Ojo. No fewer than 42 universities across Africa, with 21 universities coming from Nigeria, competed for honors at the Games. The competition was jointly hosted by LASU and the University of Lagos, Akoka. After 9 days of competition, the closing ceremony began with a farewell parade by the contingents and the officials. The vice-chancellors of the UNILAG and LASU gave their farewell speeches, thanking the local organizing committee and the participants for a successful event. Meanwhile, the director of sports, LASU, and the member of the local organizing committee for FASU, Shegun Olawumi, said that the event was a huge success. Meanwhile, the annual general meeting, AGM, of the Nigeria National League, NNL, has approved the formats, new rules, and kickoff date of the league 2024-2025 season. The meeting, according to a communique released on Sunday in Bauchi, also approved the season 2023-2024 league table as presented by the NNL Secretariat. The new season will kick off November 30 with a star match to be followed by other matches a week later. A four-conference format of 36 clubs with 9 teams each was agreed upon for the 2024-2025 season. Only the stadium meeting NNL Stadium's facility will be approved for the 2024-2025 league season, in communique. Their rivals Britain on Sunday, leveling the series at 2-2 in an intense contest in top of the range wins of Barcelona. Earlier, the Italians had been forced to concede a win to the British when they damaged the touring wing-like sail on the AC-75, falling monohull, just managing to get it swapped out in time to compete in the second race of the day. The two crews fought out a close match race, with Italy taking an early lead but pursued to the finish line by Britain, with the AC-75s at the times the torching speeds of 55 knots, spray streaming off the hydrofoils as they flew downwind. Racing will continue on Monday in the first 2 7-wings Louis Vuitton Cup, with the winners getting to challenge holders New Zealand for the coveted America's Cup trophy. Toyota's Kalle Rivera won Rally Chile in foggy conditions on Sunday, as Hyundai's Thierry Neuville took a big step towards his first world title despite having his championship lead trimmed to 29 points. Rivera beat teammate Efrain Evans by 23.4 seconds in the Concepcion-based rally to secure the Finn's 4th win of what is only a part-time season for the reigning double world champion. The win in the last gravel round of the season was the 15th of Rivera's career. Honda's Ots Tanak completed the podium 20.5 seconds behind Evans, with Neuville 4th. Neuville now has 207 points to Tanak's 178, with Toyota's Sebastian Ogier on 166 and Evans on 161 with 2 rounds remaining. Ogier's hopes of a record equaling 9th title receded despite securing maximum Sunday points after he retired from Saturday's penultimate leg with suspension damage. Toyota closed the gap to leaders Hyundai in the manufacturer's standings to 17 points, with everything still to play. Americans Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula marched into round of 16 at the China Open with wins in Beijing on Sunday. Gauff put away Kati Bolta in the straight set 7-5 and 6-2 in just under an hour and a half. The number 4 seed served up 5 aces and converted 4 of the 7 break points opportunities she created to dispatch the Brit. Pegula dropped the first sets against Russia's Veronika Kodametova before stepping it up in the second and third sets to win 6-7, 6-1, and 6-2. The number 2 seed will face Paula Badosa next after Spaniards put away Rebecca Sramkova of Slovakia 7-5, 7-5. Up next for Gauff is the 8th American compatriot Katie Volinets on Naomi Osaka of Japan. The pair's third round match was postponed when rain suspended play on outdoor courts on Sunday and is slated for Monday. 6th seed Harga Rund saved a match points as he ended Kei Nishikiro's run in the quarterfinals of the Japan Open in Tokyo on Sunday. Rune recovered to beat the two-time champion and Japanese home favorites 3-6, 6-2, and 7-5 in 2 hours and 16 minutes to reach the last four. The Dane will play Arthur Feliz in the semifinals after the Frenchman came away with a grueling 7-5, 6-7 and 7-6 victory against Ben Shelton in 3 hours. Earlier, Ugo Humbert made it through after Jack Draper was forced to retire from their match with the world number 19, leading 7-5 and 2-1. Hubbard will meet Czech Republic's Thomas Matchak next, who saw off young American Alex Michelson 7-6 and 6-3. And as the news is hour, many thanks for watching. I'll see you in another 6 minutes for the morning show. My name is Charles Pies. Good morning.
You get this phone. Come out and
What is the world doing? What is the world doing? What is the world doing with what's going on in the Middle East and Europe? I really don't know. Someone should let me know. I'm waiting. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
I'm waiting. I don't even come out stand up.